Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, Navigating AI, Transforming Finance and Sales Roles for the Future. Presenting today's topic is Robert Hallis. Robert is a dedicated software professional with demonstrated results in the creation of mission-critical enterprise applications for a variety of clients. He possesses 10 years of experience and has given hands-on technical solutions with a verified track record of designing and implementing secure, reliable, scalable, highly available, fault-tolerant, mission-critical enterprise applications. His key focus areas are on AWS, solution architecture, integration and deployment, and cloud migration. Being a highly motivated and performance-driven software professional, he's the best fit for all types of learners, including the novice as well as experienced professionals. Now, please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. Today's presentation is from the Business and Leadership Practice Area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is crafted to empower professionals in customer-facing roles such as finance, sales, customer service, with essential insights to thrive in the rapidly evolving landscape of artificial intelligence. As leaders in your respective fields, you'll gain a deep understanding of how AI is revolutionizing your industries and how to harness it to enhance organizational efficiency. And now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Robert, thank you so much for joining us today.
So my name is Robert Hales. I am a Microsoft certified trainer as well as a Amazon, Google, and AI search authorized trainer as well. And today we're going to be talking about navigating AI, and specifically talking about how we can utilize it in finance and in sales roles. So throughout this class, this is going to be a very brief overview of how we can utilize AI as people in finance or in sales. So we're going to start with just an introduction of what is AI. And we're going to talk about some of the concepts in AI and some of the terminologies that we'll utilize. We'll talk about how we can properly utilize AI tools and how we can build, or not build, excuse me, but engineer proper prompts, which is how we're going to interact with the tools to make sure we get consistent results. We're going to go over how AI can be utilized in finance. We'll talk about how AI can be utilized to help with a personalized customer experience. And we'll end with talking about optimized sale processes using AI. All right, so with that, let's jump in and get learning. So first, we want to talk about what is AI, and how does this help me in finance or in sales? So when we're looking at what is AI, there's a lot of potential answers that we can give, right? We can hear that it's just artificial intelligence, which that's absolutely what it stands for. We know that AI is a tool that recently we've been able to see everywhere. We see it in social media, we've seen it in popular culture, where people are utilizing AI tools in a more daily pattern. And so what is it really? What can it do? How long has it been around? So we're going to discuss a little bit about AI because AI just isn't really it isn't just one thing. So AI is an umbrella term. So it comes, of course, artificial intelligence, but it was built off of deep learning and machine learning. What does that mean, Rob? I don't know what we mean by deep learning and machine learning. Well, let's start about where we get artificial intelligence, the concept from. And so we're looking back in the early 1950s. So we have Alan Turing and others who are working with computer programming. And they recognize the amazing capability these computers have. Now, granted, computers are massive at this point. They're low powered, but very big. But they're doing something unique. They are they are making calculations. They are helping companies and organizations get organized. And so Turing and others noticed, wait a minute, this is an intelligence. It is able to look at a problem and find a solution. So this intelligence is not God given, right? It's not something that's natural. This is something artificial, something that we've created. So over the years, we started developing machines and training them. This is where machine learning comes in, where we gave machines parameters and said 1 plus 1 equals 2, or this is an apple, this is an orange, this is a banana. And machines were starting to identify and building patterns. Well, we worked with those patterns and we created connections. These connections led to deep learning. And the deep learning, why it's here in the core, is because this is the basis of machine learning. We're taking massive amounts of data and we're telling a machine, here's the pattern, and we're building these connections. So, in building these connections, we were able to do more and more powerful learning skills. We were able to go from just identifying and saying, this is an apple, this is a banana, this is an orange. and being able to look and solve more complex issues. We were able to figure out language. And so when we hit artificial intelligence as we know today, we have this really cool tool called NLP, or natural language processing. And this allows us to do things like, hey Siri, what's today's weather? Or, hey Google, can you tell me who won the baseball game last night? This natural language processing, especially when we started doing text to text translations, or not translations, but work, we were able to create and work with the tool now that we now call generative AI. And you may have heard of generative AI. Maybe this is a new concept, but generative AI is basically a very smart program. Generative AI is not only able to understand and be able to comprehend to some degree human thought and emotion, it's able to also generate relatively what seems like new thoughts and new ideas. It's able to look at data, extrapolate what data isn't there, and make an informed decision. Now, this is very powerful. And you might say, well, Rob, okay, they talked about this idea in the 50s, but what happened between the 50s and today? We've been developing and working on AI throughout the years. We've been working on developing these tools to be as powerful as they are today. And we are just starting. The AI that you see today, this ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, all of these are just the beginning. They are like toddlers, pretty good to get the job done, but you have to be very specific and help guide your AI to where you want it to go. Okay, Rob, so why do I need a toddler to help me do my work? Well, this isn't your everyday toddler. This is someone, um, or something, excuse me, that can work with massive amounts of data in very short time. So as humans, we're limited into what we physically can do. AI is not necessarily completely unbounded, but it is able to do so much more and recognize so much more. And so how can it help with finance and sales? Well, we've been doing this for years. When you get a call from the bank and saying, "Hey, we noticed some suspicious activity," well, what's not suspicious activity? Right? What's normal behavior? That's AI. AI's discovered your baseline, and then when there's a charge on your card coming from, you know, 3 states over or in another country, we know that might be something weird. Or if you spend $5 to $10 every day, but then all of a sudden you spend $3,000 in a day, that's weird. And this is what AI can do. And while humans, we have the same ability, AI can do this faster and automate. Do you want to go through records and try to find fraud? With how quick pace our society is, it would be near impossible to keep up. Do you want to work on some more of these tedious tasks in your job? No, absolutely not. I don't want to have to read through massive policies or store plannings or customer service plans. They're very long. With AI, we can summarize, we can work with it. We can create a unique and individualized customer service plan for every single customer. So when they come in, you know what they're looking for, why they probably even why they want it, and be able to offer them a very specific product to say, hey, I think this is what can best help your needs. Creating a good experience for you, creating a good experience for customers. We can also utilize AI to do things like forecasting sales, looking at sales trends in the past, looking at our current trends, and being able to see what the future might look like. And instead of going off of our gut feeling, we can make data-driven decisions, right? Making our lives easier and hopefully more profitable, which is why we're all here. So this is pretty great stuff. Why doesn't everybody implement AI to some degree? Well, there's some real challenges when we're talking about the adoption of AI. Number one is a lot of people believe AI is a new technology, which is kind of dangerous. No, this is an older technology, but we do have a lack of expertise. There are very few people who are experts in the field of AI. This is this field has exploded over the last 2-3 years, and we expect to see it to continue to grow. This is becoming now an integral part of our day-to-day routines. I would challenge you to find a few hours in your life where AI is not directly impacting and directly interacting with your life. So, with a lack of expertise, that's a huge issue. Another issue is data quality and the availability of data. What makes AI smart? It has a lot of information. Where do we get that information? That's the hard part. So when we're working with our customers, are we collecting data, whole data, about what their likes are, what their interests are, what do they spend their time looking at or working with, right? These all build up data that we can utilize to help offer that customized experience. Rob, that's crazy. That sounds really weird. Is it? When you go to Amazon.com, did you not agree to using cookies? Or if you go to Target or Walmart or any store website, don't they ask for cookies? We look at what customers do, and then we can offer a better, more personalized experience. Now, another problem that we have is twofold. One is being able to integrate with existing systems. How do I get cool things like Copilot and ChatGPT and Gemini? How can I link them to my program, right? How can we utilize them here at my company? And so that's something, fortunately, that there are a good number of classes that are coming out from a variety of providers. And so if you'd like to learn more, please let us know, and we'd be happy to point you in the right direction. We have some great sales associates here who can help you find how we can integrate those systems. And of course, the biggest issue that we all face is cost. Using generative AI is expensive. They're expensive because it took a long time to create, to train, and to perfect to the level that we're at. And so this cost is going to roll out to the users. And so us as users need to see, is this worth our cost? And again, if you'd like to learn more about how we can overcome these challenges, please feel free to contact us at Netcom Learning, and we would love to show you classes where we can help you have AI integrated into your own systems. Awesome. Now let's say we've done it. We have AI integrated. Woo! Awesome. How do we use it efficiently? And that's where we come into prompt engineering. Rob, what do you mean? Well, what is a prompt? A prompt is us writing a message to an AI system. For example, we can say, tell me a bedtime story. That is a prompt. But is it effective? Right? So when we mention engineering, when I think of engineering, I think of building and creating something that's made to be as efficient as possible. And with prompt engineering, that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking these prompts and we're trying to build them to be as effective as possible. Because every prompt you input, that is time, power, and money that you are pouring into the system. Let's make sure we're being as effective as absolutely possible. So how do we do this? Well, there's a few ways we can do it. When we're working with AI, we want to make sure that we are being uh, as precise as absolutely possible. So we want to make sure that we are utilizing language that denotes clarity, right? So we want to say, instead of give me a bedtime story, we can say, give us a bedtime story about dogs, about cats in a ballet, about something specific. We don't want to be broad, because if you go to anybody and you ask them a vague question, you're going to get a vague answer. No different with AI. Make sure that you have good clarity, because if we are jumbled up and we're adding uhs and e's and or could you kind of show me how math sort of works? Well, what do you want? What are you looking for? Are you looking for algebra? Are you looking for calculus? And heck, even within algebra and calculus, what specifically are you trying to understand? Because those are both very, very, very broad topics, which can bring us down to making sure we have examples of what we want. And if we have a big ask, we can say, hey, I'm having problems with the quadratic equation. All right, perfect. We're using an example of what kind of math we're having trouble with. And then, can you break down the quadratic equation into smaller pieces so I can understand why we have to perform actions in the quadratic equation in a certain way, in a certain method? So now, as we get to an effective prompt, we're going to make sure that it has these principles. We want to ensure that we set a persona that says, this is who you are, AI. We're going to set an objective, what we want the AI to do, an audience, who's receiving this, and then add context. We want to know, what should my answer look like? Give examples of what the answer should look like, and be able to ensure that we have plenty of details. So instead of saying, tell me a bedtime story, you can say, you are a famous storyteller. Write a children's bedtime story in the style of Dr. Seuss about a princess who wants to travel the world and explore new venues of thought. It is concise, it is specific. We say who this is for, who it's going to, and we gave details. Now, this is a this is a good first step, but now with my prompt engineering, there's also different techniques I can use. So in my previous example of the princess who's out there searching the world for new avenues of thought, we have that is a zero shot, where we are relying on the technology of we're relying on the technology and the training of the AI system we're utilizing, which is good. Um, it's good for a lot of different use cases. But what if I needed to do something specific? What if I'm looking for answers to be put down in a certain pattern because I'm a teacher writing a test and there's certain ways that my test should look like. Or I'm an engineer and I need things to be done in a certain with a certain method involved. Well, this is where we get into few shot. With few shot, we're going to do things like say, hey, I need you to give me a slogan that is like, I'm loving it or have it your way. And so we've given it examples and we're asking it to create something based off of those examples. Then we have our chain of thought where we can break down. Let's go back to the quadratic equation, right? We don't do everything necessarily in math left to right perfectly. We have PEMDAS, right, where we go through and we evaluate what is going to be done first. So if I wanted to say, hey, can you break down the quadratic equation and solve for the slope here, we can, with chain of thought, break it down and have each step laid out for us. And in chain of thought, we generally will give an example, but in this case, the quadratic equation is fairly well known. So in the chain of thought, we can say break this down in a chain of thought method, and the answer will break down and say, here's step by step how I solve for finding the slope of the quadratic equation. Now, with that, this is just we have just dipped our toes into the water. There is actually a fantastic class that we offer here with AI Certs that is called Prompt Engineering. And guess what? We spend 8 hours discussing how we can be better with our prompts. We talk about why that matters, how we can save us money, and produce a much better ROI for us utilizing this new technology. Now, great, Robert. You mentioned this, but how does it really work in real life? Well, it works really well. Here we go. Write a short story of 2 paragraphs on hard work. And we have a very decent 2 paragraphs. It's not too bad. It's average because we gave a vague question, so we got a relatively vague answer. Now, here we have a different prompt, an effective prompt. Here we said who our persona is, a literature student. And the objective is you are being assessed on your writing skills. And so we're given the task, which is write a short story on the theme of hard work, which we said here, but we gave it rules, part of like my few shot, right? Or with my 0 prompt. So we gave it rules. It can't be more than 2 paragraphs, uses a simple yet rich vocabulary, and the style should be simple, but include elements of Shakespearean writing. And if we look here, we see that there is much richer vocabulary. We even quote Shakespeare. We get a much higher score if we put it through something like Grammarly, and we see that it's a much more refined piece of literature that's been created. So prompt engineering will give you better responses. It can potentially save you money and how you utilize it. And this will ensure that your effectiveness isn't lost in trying to do the same prompts over and over and over with diminishing results. All right. So we've gotten to talk about what is AI, where it's come from, and a little bit of how we can use it in general and use it effectively using prompting. How do I use it for the financial sector? Sales, don't worry, we're getting to you. We're gonna start off with the financial sector. So, how can we use AI for me? And throughout this and every course you take here at Netcom Learning, we want to point out that we want you to focus on WIFM. What's in it for me? Because if you're not understanding why this applies to you, then this is useless. This is just a waste of time. But when you understand why it's important, that's where it becomes useful. Now, how is AI useful to me, Rob? Great question. So when we look at AI when working with financing, one of the things that we can do is stock forecasting. Because guess what the stock market is? It is just a timeline of events. There are patterns. And for all of you out there who work in finance and work with stocks, we've identified several patterns like candlesticks and being able to identify this is when it's a good time to buy, this is when it's a good time to sell. And so we can utilize AI. We train it off of a couple of different stock options. We say, this is when we traded, this is the result. And we're able to teach it the patterns that we know. But this time, it can span the entire market. It can look at all the tickers that we want at once. We can ask it in natural language. Which stock is forecasted in the next 3 days to grow the most? Which stock is likely to crash the most over the next 24 hours? Boom. We can get results quickly and efficiently, helping you stay ahead of your competition and make sure that your clients, if we're dealing with their 401ks or anything like that, we can ensure that their portfolio is going to grow consistently while also ensuring that our bonuses and our commission is going to grow with their portfolio. Now, I'm not that kind of person in finance. That's okay. Okay, so let's take a quick 5-minute break, and then I'll start on the remaining topics after the break.
Sure, we are now going to take a 5-minute break, but before we do that, we are going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's continue where we left off. What about loans? In loans, we know that there's a pattern. If they have a certain credit score, debt to income ratio, if there is any financial issues that we need to be aware of or are aware of in the loan, we can look through that whole process and automate it. So somebody can quickly input their information, they fill out a little questionnaire, AI processes it and says, okay, we're going to, as we've seen from other humans, we're going to pre-approve you for $300,000, $350,000 for a home. This gives you the opportunity to know what numbers you're going to realistically work with. It gives the customer an immediate answer, which makes them very happy. And if there's a disagreement, guess what? We can still talk. We can communicate and say, this is why we have this answer. Or we can say, hey, you know what? You're right. We can adjust for XYZ concessions that were missed in the exam, and we can fix that a little bit later. Now, another issue we talked about earlier is fraud. Now, when we're dealing with fraud, sometimes it can be very sneaky. It can be very subtle with small amounts taken a little bit here, a little bit there. Sometimes there's just blazing theft. And being able to go through the financial records of hundreds, thousands, millions of customers all the time, every single minute, is exhausting, if not just impossible. So with AI, we can look for those patterns, just like we did in the stock market. We can identify where this is legitimate customer interaction and this is potential fraud. And we can bring up the fraud quickly, saving us time, saving us money. And guess what? That means we're saving money again. So this can help us get a much better ROI for the utilization of AI. All right, cool. We've gotten to see how we can utilize it in finance. But Rob, I'm in sales. How can AI help me? It's a people business. We just work with people and it's all about creating that relationship. Great. Let's talk about how we can utilize AI in the sales department. So, when we're working with AI, we can see our customers and we'll generally get to know a little bit about our customers, what they like, what they dislike, what their hopes and dreams are, what they hope to get out of our transaction together. And with AI, we can automate a lot of the kind of dull process, especially when we're looking for leads and making sure that they're good leads. Right. Automating that saves you a lot of time and effort so you can do the thing that you love, which is working with people and helping them get the best product that they need. So what we can do with AI is we can say, hey, I'm looking for, and here we have a group of customers that have expressed interest and signed up through an online promotion or hoping to win a sweepstake. They enter in their email. We can send automated emails. And as we have more data and more information, we can send more personal reminders. If we're setting up appointments, we can have AI automatically create reminders to send to you to make sure that your sales calls aren't being overlapped or interrupted, and for your customers to make sure that they come and know that they have the time that you guys are supposed to meet. So with this, yes, absolutely, AI can be a huge help. Now, an issue that we have here and everywhere in sales is we're talking to a lot of people. Sometimes that can be very hard to keep straight. Who did I talk to about selling product A? How much of that product did they want? Why did they want that product? Well, the good news is, as we record our calls, we can ask AI, hey, what did client one want from our last phone call? And it can bring it up. It can show us what we talked about, who mentioned what, and we can have very specific notes or general notes, depending on what you're looking for. But we can have very specific notes telling us how we can better interact with our customers. So when we get back on that second call, a third call, fourth call, we can say, hey, Tom, or hey, Jill, we are so happy to be able to work with you. I remember last time we talked about blank, 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 blank. Did you still have problems about XYZ? Did you find whether or not you wanted to move forward with product A or with product B? And that will impress your customers because they know that you are listening, that you care, and you're paying attention, which we are, but we had a little reminder. And AI can help with that. AI can also help and see where our sales are more productive. What time of day? Are we doing better sales around noon when people are going to lunch? Or are we doing better sales near the end of the day when people will say yes just because they're trying to leave out of the office as well? So we can improve our sales strategies and make sure we have the right number of employees for when customers are wanting to interact with us. We can also use sales for my people who aren't necessarily working with other major customers, right? Like, so if you aren't a car salesman or working in sales in a large company, what about just working on a retail floor? Well, we can monitor sales activity as it's happening. And so we can look and say, oh, we're seeing a huge spike today on lemonade. People are buying a lot of lemonade. And then we can look and say, oh, look, the weather was hot. So we're going to purchase more lemonade for tomorrow because it's supposed to be hot as well. And AI can also suggest and say, we see that there's a huge spike in lemonade, and we figured it out because there is a YouTube video that's becoming very viral and everybody wants to try this brand of lemonade. So we can use AI to find those opportunities that we might miss. And speaking of missed opportunities, how do we make a lot of our money in sales? Upselling and cross-selling. We want to find the best opportunities. And those are hard. Those are really hard, especially if we're on a phone call and we don't know our customers. What if AI knew our customers? What if we were able to gather lots of information before the first phone call? What if we were able to find what their habits are, what their preferences are, and we can create the perfect portfolio for them and say, oh, this customer wants product A, but they might like the product A upgrade where it has more sparkles or it has seat warmers or whatever the product might have. We can say, well, if you're buying product A, product C can help make product A that much more efficient. All of this can be done with AI. AI can look at your different products, build those relationships, and then present them for you to present to the customer, making you more efficient at your job. Are we trying to take jobs? No, absolutely not. We are working on ensuring that you, whether you are in finance or you are in sales or you're in any field. So if you're in HR and you're watching this video, can AI help you? Absolutely. I'm the CEO. Can it help me? 1,000%. Well, Rob, I'm just another IT guy. Can it help me? Yes. 100% yes. No matter who you are, AI can help make your job just a little bit easier, if not vastly improve your ability to do your job more effectively, leaving you the time to do what you love to do or to spend time with those you love to spend time with. Now, thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you guys being here over about the last 40 minutes or so. Uh, Now, all this information is available for you to utilize. You'll see down here, if you're interested in learning more, please go to netcomlearning.com, call this number, or go to AI Cert or email AI Certs at netcomlearning.com. But why AI Certs? Why not go to any other company? The great thing about AI Certs is it's agnostic. It believes that there's a higher power? No. What we mean is it AI certs is not vendor specific. So you want to work with Anthropic? Great. You want to work with Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, or excuse me, OpenAI, or Hugging Face, or any other model? Great. We teach you the general skills needed to get ahead with AI. And we have tons of courses available, whether you want something very general, like an AI course for everyone, if you're looking for a course for your executives, for sales, finance, HR, architecture, big data, if we're looking even for things like Bitcoin, we want to work more with that. Great. We can do that here with AI Certs. AI Certs is very diverse. We are focused on what your problem is, not on selling you a solution. AI Certs is here to help you. And so please contact us. Please contact us at aicerts at netcomlearn.com. There's lots of great people here who can help you find the best class for your company or organization. I look forward to hearing from you, and I really look forward to seeing you in future classes. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for spending your time here with Netcom.
Thank you, Robert. That was most informative. And I know everyone's looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions in the questions panel. And while you're doing that, I'd like to pass the presentation rights over to Neha Kumari, our product marketing manager, who's going to introduce you to our wonderful and amazing promotions and webinar related courses.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Tracy, for allowing me this opportunity to talk to our audience today. So, as you all can see here, this is the event handout that you all may have received. Once again, we thank you for taking out the time and joining our masterclass today. Before we proceed, it's worth mentioning that Netcom Learning has been awarded as one among the top 20 learning services company by trainingindustry.com for the third year in a row. We're in the training industry for over 26 years now and have serviced over 80% of the Fortune 1000 companies. Overall, we have trained 1 million plus professionals across 40,000 enterprises and we have also received recommendations from more than 96% of our customers. All our AI Search trainings are delivered by AI Search certified trainers. We have a pool of over 3,300 certified instructors who are active in their domains, bringing to you the latest knowledge and best practices, ensuring that you are on top of what is happening in the industry. We are your one stop solution for all your corporate upskilling needs with official training across every major technology and business solution provider. Netcom Learning is an authorized training partner for more than 90 plus reputed vendors like Microsoft, AWS, Google Cloud, AI Search, AC Council, and more. Now, within this handout, you can find this particular page where you can find the session recording. You can use the link to access the recording for today's session and revisit the concepts that you may have doubts with, or need more clarifications that are covered in today's masterclass. All the participants of this webinar will also be given access to our Netcom 365 portal. It is our student portal that includes a lot of features and resources for you to take advantage of. All you need to do if you're accessing it for the first time is set up your password and then you're good to go. We highly recommend everyone to explore our learning portal to take full advantage of all the skilling resources that are available within this platform. Now, let's quickly take a look at some of the latest offers on AI search trainings and certifications. Now, as you can see, these are the recommended courses that we have for AI certs. Our AI search courses have been divided based on roles. So we highly recommend everyone to click on these links. All of these are hyperlinked. Pick the item that you want to explore and you will be redirected to the official documentation that we have on these particular courses. Also, please note that all the courses that are delivered by Netcom Learning are delivered by subject matter experts. You get additional perks like 180 days access to virtual labs. Also, you get access to 90 days to the class recordings to revisit any concepts that you may like. You get full access to our Netcom 365 portal, as well as you can repeat the classes free of cost within a specified duration if you want to revisit any topic or you couldn't attend the class for the first time. We also have a couple of resources mapped here for your easy access, including the upcoming free events and blogs. We highly recommend you to explore these as well as you gain more comprehensive knowledge on our offerings. We're currently offering a complimentary AI executive training to all our learners. While this is complimentary, it is limited for a short time. Priced initially for $9.95, this is available right now free of cost for all executives and decision makers across all organizations. Click on this link and enroll now to understand how strategic decision making can be enhanced with AI and how you can take your organization to lead in today's digital era. All the trainings are delivered by our top rated trainers, and you get a complimentary skilling plan consultation with our learning consultants, allowing you to get clarity on which specific courses are needed to be taken by your team. In case you're a large organization or an organization that is spread across geographies or have multiple business units within the same organization, the skilling needs get quite complicated. And this is where our learning passport is here to help you. Basically, you park all your training funds with us for 12 months, and within these 12 months, you get exceptional value on all the funds that you invest, right up to 100% increase of your fund value is what you can experience with our Learning Passport. And these funds are flexible. With Learning Passport, you get the additional flexibility that for one particular course, you can pick one particular learner, and for another, you can use the same training dollars for another course. This is basically giving you unlimited access to our entire authorized training portfolio, which has more than 4,000 courses. S- So, we highly recommend you to check this out if you have such skilling requirements. This is an ideal solution for you to park all your training funds and make sure you get the ultimate value all year round. Along with these, you also get additional access to courses and certifications, other free virtual events, blogs, and you can also access our promotional offers on our website. With this, I'd like to thank everyone. Do follow us on our social handles, and we hope to see you in our next sessions. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Neha. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. How can AI driven fraud detection systems adapt to new and evolving fraud tactics?
Well, that's a great question. When we're looking at AI, what did we learn? Remember that with machine learning, we identified patterns and we were able to find a solution based off of what we're seeing. Fraud is no different. There's always going to be a pattern. There's rarely going to be something so chaotic because that's probably not going to work well. as we see fraud happening, no matter how advanced with AI, we can continually work on identifying fraud patterns, being able to address them quickly and efficiently. So that is a great question.
And let's take another question. How does the integration of AI in sales processes impact the role of human sales representatives?
Good question. So I was in the military for a lot of years, and so we had something called a force multiplier, right? It made an individual soldier more efficient, right? Whether that was packing a really big machine gun, driving a vehicle or a tank or something like that, it made one individual soldier more powerful instead of just having that one-on-one interaction. And this is what AI is. AI is your tank. Is it replacing anybody? No, it's just making you more efficient. You get to know your customers better. You get to learn more about your customers. You get to be able to give the customer the exact experience that they're looking for. You get to become the very person they need because you're giving them exactly what they're looking for. So when we're working with sales representatives, we need you. We need you to interact with the customer, to be able to explain why this product was chosen, why this is going to help them, and be able to build those relationships, because this is AI. Nothing will quite be the same as human to human interaction. I'm sure you will see people who will beg for that human touch, and we're still giving it to them, just with a slight edge. More than a slight edge, a very large edge. Great question.
And we have another question in the queue. What are the limitations of current AI technologies in stock forecasting, and how can they be addressed?
Great question. So the limitations of AI is very real. There's only so much data that we have and that we can feed, because we need to not just give it plain data. We need to explain this is why it's happening the way it's happening. So the biggest limitations are how we train and utilize AI. And through that, as we get better educated and we train with cleaner data or more complete data, we're going to find that we're going to have a much better experience down the road as we work with things like stock forecasting. But this could be for anything, right? No matter what field, there are limitations with what AI can do. But AI is continually learning and growing. And so we can help it learn and grow and be able to overcome those obstacles down the road.
Let's take another question. How can AI driven upselling and cross selling strategies be personalized to individual customer preferences?
That's great. So let's look at it more in a retail point of view. If we see customers on our websites and we see somebody looking at dresses, and they spend a lot of time looking at dresses, they spend a lot of time looking at particular designs and lengths and sizes and what have you, we can probably speculate a little bit about what that customer is looking for, based off of the dress shapes they're looking at, the dress, or not shapes but cuts, the colors and the size. We can start recommending, hey, we noticed that you were looking at an A-frame dress in yellow for size 8. Here are other A-frame dresses that are yellow in a size 8, and we'll throw in one or two different style dresses, but still in yellow. Or we'll offer the same A-frame, but maybe in a couple other different colors. And now what this is going to do is the customer is going to get their email or a message or whatever, And they're going to look and say, oh, I've been looking at dresses. Let me see what they have. Or send out an ad or a specified coupon for them to get 10% off the dress. Oh, well, now I was looking and I was tempted, but now that I have this additional incentive, I'm more likely to buy it. So when utilizing AI, it's like having a constant human interaction with our customers, giving us the best edge possible in working with customers to be able to figure out how we can get the most to the customers with them still being satisfied in what they've purchased. So, fantastic question.
Last question we have for today is, what are the long-term implications of AI on customer service roles and the overall customer experience?
All right. So, there is a lot. Now we can, as customers, walk into a store. Let's say we're going to go buy a car. Now, as a customer, I can walk through the door and already have in mind what I'm looking for and have the salesperson also know what I'm looking for. So instead of talking a lot about, like, oh, have you seen this car, this car, this car, that I might not care about, we can get directly to the point. And they can bring me over and say, Rob, here's 2 or 3 vehicles that we think are perfect for you. And I can look at those vehicles, and as a customer, I can make a decision, and I'll feel less stressed because I don't have 1,000 options. I have 2 or 3. I don't have to spend an hour walking across a huge parking lot and trying to find these different vehicles all over the place. The salesperson can bring them right to me, creating a better customer experience. And when your customer's happy, you're going to be more likely to make a sale. And so AI with customer service roles is again going to be a force multiplier. This is going to make your job easier. You're going to find more ways to sell. You're going to find more ways to interact with customers quickly. In fact, if you're having a tough argument with a customer, you can go step away, right? Let them think things through. You step away, put the conversation through AI, and have AI give suggestions on how to complete that sale, whether they're aggravated, upset, or just disappointed at a price point or other concern. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the questions. Back to you.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.